The model has a couple of issues. One big issue is what's happening to a lot of companies. Their costs of operating are going up significantly. So it shouldn't be measured on sales. It should be measured on sales minus cost in order to achieve this. Just because you might have a lot of sales or the same as last year does not mean you're making a profit. Doesn't mean your cash flow is positive. Minister, I asked, and we spoke a couple of weeks ago, and I very, very much appreciate the interaction you shared with me, and the Taoiseach also shared with me in relation to small and medium-sized businesses, 250,000 of them in the country, employing almost 1.2 million people. I said at the time, and I'm asking again, if we could set up an urgent SME task force, with SME people who are at the front line on that task force, to actually go and offer the breadth of what it's like to actually go and do this. SMEs want to employ people. They want to keep their businesses going. As you said, Minister, earlier when we were speaking outside, there's two parts to this. There's actually just to keep our head above water now. It's primarily about liquidity. But what happens when all of this finishes and we're back into some sense of normality again? Those companies and businesses have to get up and running again rather than just survival mode. And that's another slightly different strategy that's required there. There are two policies being adopted by ECB, European and worldwide countries, and by Ireland. One's a monetary policy, which is focused on the central bank and what they're doing. And what are the central bank doing? They're decreasing interest rates, which is fine, but interest rates are low anyway. They're actually increasing money supply. They are actually buying government bonds and corporate bonds to increase money supply. ECB have laxed the rules that central banks, national central banks, have to operate under to create greater flexibility of monetary. You've got in the fiscal policy that governments are introducing. I'm sorry, I'll be finished just a minute if I may, but I'm asking you, Minister, if you could impose on your colleagues and ask them to set up that SME task ASAP. Finally, I was on a webinar Céidigh this morning. We're in the region of 100 SMEs. They employ over 300,000 people. And some of the issues they came back with are really, really interesting and really, really important. And they're wearing the jersey as much as everybody else. And they're as passionate about their employees and about our country as our employees are, and everybody at the front line. So